Lombardi comes to us from the wonderful city of Hamilton that we chatted when we were sitting beside each other about how it's difficult to get around Kitchener, and I said, well, I don't find Hamilton very easy, so we're kind of even. Dr. Lombardi is an amazing woman. I have had the pleasure of hearing her speak before, and I know you're going to enjoy her. She has many hats. She's a wife and mother. She's the mother of 4. She is a professor at St. Augustine Seminary. She has published many articles. She has prepared a program that's being used for religious studies in the Catholic school system in Ontario. I could go on and on. But she is been kind enough to accept our invitation tonight, and she is going to talk to us about the Blessed Virgin Mary, how appropriate in this month of May. My pleasure to introduce Dr. Josephine Lombardi.
And thank you to all the Sarans who coordinated this evening, and thank you to Father McGrath for hosting us tonight and welcoming me and helping me find my way home because I was lost getting there. So I've been lost 3 times coming to Kitchener. I don't know what it is, but I'll get it right eventually. And so I'm so happy to be here and to support your wonderful mission. I didn't bring my reading glasses tonight, and I have seen the prayer card praying for vocations. And you know I don't have my glasses when I see praying for vacations. So I thought we need to do that too. So I'm so pleased to be here tonight to share with you a meditation on the 7 words of Mary in Scripture. So I know you're familiar with the last 7 words of Christ before he died, but there are also 7 moments when Mary speaks in Scripture. And in the month of May, it's always wonderful to take this opportunity to reflect on her life, the gift of her life, the gift of her yes, but in reflecting on her words, seeing how she relates to us and how we can see ourselves in her. I gave the same talk to our seminarians last week. They had some enrichment days at the end of the semester. And some of them asked, well, what should we say about Mary in our homilies when we're teaching? And I said, women need to see themselves in Mary. And they need to know that they can be like her. That it is possible with God's grace. And men too, it is possible that we can be like her. And so she's a gift to us because she's a creature like us. And in her humanity, she reveals humanity fully alive, God's intended plan. And so in reflecting on her words, we're going to see how we can become like her. And how that's a very important step before becoming another Christ. Because she was the one who bore him. Right? In her sinless state, she had the body of Christ within her. And so the less we sin, the more like Mary we become. And then Christ can be visible in us too. So she plays a very important role in this whole call to holiness. And so we need to see ourselves in her. And that's what I hope to do tonight in reflecting on her words and how she would like us to relate to her. She wants to pray for us and she wants to be close to us. So there we have a wonderful image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Now we know Jesus is divine, so he's fully divine and fully human. And so we have 2 wonderful mysteries revealed in him. Right? He is a sneak preview of the Father. In John's Gospel, he says, I reveal the Father. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. So if we've ever wondered, how does God feel about the poor, about the widowed, about the orphan, about those who need love and mercy, those who need healing? Jesus is the answer to all those questions because he reveals the Father. He and the Father are one. So in his divinity, he reveals God to us. In his humanity, right, he's one person with 2 natures, he reveals to us the perfect image of God in man. This is why St. Paul referred to Jesus as the new Adam. Right? So think about creation for a moment. That at the moment of creation, God created man, male and female, in his image and likeness. So before the fall, before that act of disobedience, which was really about not trusting God's will for them. Right? Sometimes people ask me for a user-friendly definition of original sin. What's it all about? And I'd say for me, original sin was rooted in the illusion that I can find fulfillment without following God's will. That I can be disobedient, I cannot trust God, and I can be impatient. And that was the issue with Adam and Eve. It was disobedience, a lack of trust, and impatience, and waiting for God's plan to be revealed and fulfilled in their lives. And so at first, they were created in the ideal state of humanity. They revealed the glory of God. But because of that original act of disobedience, that likeness in them changed. Think for a moment, if you're around somebody who's evil and corrupt and abusive and arrogant and obnoxious, right? We should always ask ourselves, what does it feel like to be in my presence? So think of what it's like to be in the presence of someone with a critical spirit who may be evil or rude or abusive. Now, although God's image is there, the likeness has changed. It's been disfigured. Right? It's almost like the image is hiddenly present. It's not visibly present because you see the nastiness. But with God's grace, His supernatural power, His assistance, free assistance that He gives us through our Lord Jesus Christ, that likeness can be healed. Right? We become kinder and more compassionate. We become like God. So that when someone's in our presence, they leave our presence feeling energized and encouraged. Think of someone you know who is life-giving. You know, you really sense Christ's presence in this person, and you leave feeling there's something about this person that brings me closer to God. I feel God's love. I feel God's presence. I want to be like that. And really what it is you want to be like God. And so Jesus in His humanity revealed God's intended purpose from the beginning. This is what God wanted for us from the beginning. And this is why Paul refers to Jesus as the new Adam. That he's revealing to us again what God desired for us. So those who were in His presence had a sneak preview of God's desire for all of creation. So that's pretty amazing. But Our Lady, in her humanity, so she's not divine, she's a creature, but in her humanity, we know because of this particular teaching, this dogma that we celebrate on December the 8th, that Mary, from the moment that she was conceived in her mother's womb, there's a wonderful icon with Saint Anne and Our Lady, that at the moment that she was conceived, God set her apart. And so she was already redeemed by God's grace at the moment of her conception. So she wasn't affected in any way by that woundedness that infected us because of original sin. She was set apart, and in her humanity, being sinless, early church bishops, early church writers, fathers, referred to Mary as the new Eve. So together, they reveal to us God's plan for us. And the good news is we can be like her. And I know when I talk to some women, they'll say, well, I don't even feel worthy of, praying to Mary, asking her to pray for me because she's perfect. And I can't be like her. And I said, that would make her so sad that we as women and men feel that we cannot be like her. Because it was because of God's grace that she was set apart. Now, we didn't get the same head start, but she needed a head start because she was to be the mother of the Messiah. Right? And He took His flesh from His mother. Right? His divinity from His father, His flesh from His mother. So He couldn't take His flesh from a wounded humanity. Right? He needed to take His flesh from a new Eve. Right? A new creation. So she, yes, was given a head start, but what we're going to see when we reflect on our words, even though she was given a head start and redeemed at the moment of her conception that we celebrate on this wonderful feast day, she was not exempt from human suffering. in pain and loss and gossip and rumor. So many of the things that we experience because of human sin, she experienced too. Just like Jesus in the letter to the Hebrews, the anonymous writer of that letter says, he is like us in all ways but sin. And we can apply that to Mary. She is like us in all ways but sin. So just because she's without sin doesn't mean her life was perfect. Right? She's sinless, but she struggled like us. Think about her name, Mary. Right? In the original Hebrew, Maria, you have a few root words there. One is seed. Right? So I'm of an Italian background, and mare in Italian is seed. But amare means bitter, or amaro is bitter. You find that root word in her name too, bitter. So that means that her life was bittersweet. Many of us go through bittersweet seasons in our lives, right? Sometimes we're in a season of sweetness or plenty. Our marriages are flourishing, our children are doing well, they're working, they're going to school, their health is good. And so that's a wonderful season of plenty. And we're going to see Our Lady did have these seasons of plenty. But sometimes we have those bitter seasons. Call them seasons of drought. Right? And you never know the day or the hour where our lives are turned upside down. There's a car accident. There's a new diagnosis. An adult child is getting divorced. You're worried about your grandchildren. You're worried about whether they're going to get a job. Someone's going to lose their house. And so sometimes these seasons change. And in those seasons, we're called to pray and to hope. And we're in the season of the resurrection, right? It's a reminder that God will always vindicate our pain and can be redeemed. And so we're going to see how Our Lady, like us, went through these seasons, bitter, sweet, over and over again, right to the end. And she can relate to us. So her name is very significant, and our Lord's name is very significant. Yeshua in Hebrew means God saves. So his name reveals his mission. Right? And Our Lady's name reveals so much about her as well. And so in being like Mary, we need to ponder her life. Now again, we're only limited to 7 instances when she spoke in Scripture, but we're going to see how profound they are. That when we really take the time to meditate, they reveal so much to us about her inner being and her personality. They also reveal what was going on in her mind and in her heart during those sometimes challenging moments. So let's start with her words at the Annunciation. Right? So here's a wonderful image there where that bright light represents the angel Gabriel. And here she is. Scholars say she could have been maybe 14 years old on average. It would take a year. Here's this young, beautiful girl. There's a non-canonical, meaning there was a historical text published around the year 180 that we refer to just for historical data in the church. And it was called the Protevangelium of James, or the Gospel of James. And it's a wonderful text because it gives us a little bit of information about her childhood. You see, nowhere in Scripture do you hear her parents' names mentioned, St. Anne and St. Joachim. But in this very important text, we hear the story of her parents, St. Anne and Joachim, and how they knew that they had given birth to a very special child, set apart by God. And that when she was 3 years old, she was dedicated to God at the temple. She was a temple virgin, according to this account. And the elders in the temple were entrusted with her care. So they knew they had a very special child present, and they had to take care of us. This same document tells us that St. Joseph was a little older than her. The elders chose him to be her future husband. So again, here is a creature like us, a man, who had a very special mission to be a foster parent to our Lord. Think of people who sometimes may marry a widow or a widower or take on that role as step-parent, and how they can really look to St. Joseph as a model to help them with that particular journey. And so we hear that that's how they made the connection. And so in this moment, the angel Gabriel visits her, right, and says, "Greetings, favored one, Hail Mary, full of grace." Right? Half of the Hail Mary that we pray is fully scriptural. Right? It consists of the words of St. Gabriel and St. Elizabeth. Right? And then we added, "Be prayed for us now at the hour of our death." And so here Mary is perplexed because the angel is telling her, "You're now pregnant with God's child, with the Messiah, the Anointed One." And she's thinking, how can this be? I am a virgin. So she's human like us in that we would be asking the same question. How is this possible? Right? So she shows that at times in our faith, we may struggle, or we may be looking for answers. We may need some confirmation. So sometimes when we're praying over an issue, how many of us pray for confirmation? Lord, is it your will that I do this? Is it your will that I write this, that I go there? And so Mary is modeling for us that it's okay to ask questions when we pray. And so here she is asking how this is possible. And of course she learns that God is the God of the impossible. "Here am I, the servant of the Lord. Let it be with me according to your word." So what does this mean for us? It means that when we're pondering God's will for our lives, there's that first step. Sometimes we need clarification. I assist men who are discerning for the priesthood. And they go through years of discernment where they're praying for a sign or a confirmation, that inner peace that they're on the right path. And so it's okay to ponder, to ask questions, to pray for confirmation. But then eventually, when it comes to God's will, He wants a yes or a no. Doesn't Jesus say, "Let your yes be yes and your no be no"? He doesn't want anyone to be lukewarm. Right? He wants a yes or a no because He honors our free will. We were created with freedom to say yes or no. And sometimes we may delay our yes. When we think of Adam and Eve, why? Sometimes due to impatience, because we might want something else, right? We want something else, and we want it now. And so sometimes because of impatience, we may stray from God's will. When people used to come to me for counseling, if this was the issue, that they were waiting for confirmation whether something was God's will, I quoted a famous saying that goes like this: "God's delays are not God's denials." So just because there's a delay doesn't mean He's not going to come through for you. But He's not going to give you that inner peace. He's not going to give you that courage to say yes. Another option could be, I could be discerning something that is compatible with God's will, but God could be saying to me, "I've got something better in mind for you." And I could be discerning a job somewhere. Well, I really want to work for this institution, but if I surrender that to God and say, "I would really like to work there if this is compatible with your will," and because I am offering it or surrendering it to God, He's going to answer me. He'll say, "Thank you for trusting me, and no, I have something better in mind for you." That's probably good for a few other people, but I have something better in mind for you. Right? So here, Mary shows no hesitation in saying yes to God's will without knowing the outcome. We all know the outcome. She has no idea what's coming. Very soon after this moment, there are issues for her, we're going to see. So one year, one of my pastors at my parish in Hamilton was talking about the vocation of marriage. And he said, "Could you imagine on the day that you got married, you're walking down the aisle, and on a big screen, the next 25 years of your life are going to flash before your eyes? Would you still say yes?" right? And everybody, of course, is laughing because they're thinking of things that we've gone through, right? As married people or as parents, or even if you're not married, it could be you said yes to a job somewhere. You said yes to studying something. You said yes to helping someone. And sometimes saying yes to God's will may involve some struggle or difficulty. Why? Because not everyone is doing God's will. Right? So for me, when I think of what is a foretaste of heaven, a foretaste of heaven for me is doing God's will and being surrounded by others who do God's will. Because you see, sometimes we can say yes to God's will, but there are others around us who are not saying yes. And they can create struggle for us and turmoil. Right? So her yes is yes, and she trusts without knowing the outcome. When we think of what it means to have faith in God, sometimes people may limit faith to belief. They think it means, it means to believe in God. But faith is more than belief. It's knowing God and it's trusting God. In the Latin, fidere, trust translates as having faith also means to trust. Right? And so Mary had to trust God with her yes. Okay, I'm going to say yes, and I'm trusting you. I don't know what's coming down the road, but I'm trusting you.